Hello everyone watching the channel. Today I will tell you the stories of my soldier life when fighting in Hoang district, Dong Thap province and in Cambodia. Actually, I don't want to tell this story because it is very painful. However, in combat, there are victories and defeats. This was also the first battle that I participated in, a very big battle in Go Chua Tan, Kong Chi Hoang district, Dong Thap province. Around mid-November 1978, my unit moved up near the border to participate in a very fierce battle. My unit was assigned to fight to control a village in front, but at that time it was in Hoang district, Dong Thap province, not in Cambodia. At that time, the PolPol army flooded into Vietnam and dug solid fortifications. In my group, there were 3 people, including me, Comrade Nam, the person I often tell stories about, from Ha Nam Ninh province, and Comrade Nien, who was from the same district as me. At about 2 a.m., my battalion moved up to attack the mobile force. I still remember, the battalion's formation was that my 3rd company attacked from the front, while the 1st and 2nd companies attacked from the flanks. But we started in a V shape, meaning my 3rd company followed behind the other 2 companies. The vanguard team started up in a V shape. My company's mission was to attack and restrain, mainly using personal firepower, the company's 60mm mortar. Behind them were the battalion's 82mm mortar, and further behind were the regiment's 120mm mortar. The M60 machine gun and 12.7mm machine gun formations followed behind. That day, we left our personal backpacks at home and wore shorts. There were mainly rice fields, embankments, palmyra clumps, and occasionally termite mounds and mounds. When my formation started up and got close to the enemy's position, my company had the task of opening fire first. We opened fire simultaneously, firing as we advanced. We kept walking in the middle of the rice fields. At that time there were no trenches, or fortifications. Occasionally there were termite mounds and mounds of earth that we took advantage of as cover, while the enemy's side facing Cambodia was higher. After both sides started shooting at each other, I discovered that the entire formation of the PolPol army had set up fortifications outside the village. Their firepower nests and resistance nests were arranged on the outer edge of the village to resist the Vietnamese troops' charge. At that time, behind the regiment's 120mm mortar, the battalion's 82mm mortar were fired continuously in front of us. When we opened fire, we were immediately hit by a hail of mortar from the PolPol army. Mud, dirt, and water flew up everywhere. My lack of experience at that time was that when the enemy opened fire, I was also afraid, so I fell behind, lying close to the 12.7mm machine gun. The PolPol troops fired DKZ 75mm and DKZ 82mm guns in response, aiming to take down the Vietnamese 12.7mm gun. I thought it was not safe to lie here. The enemy's fire was continuous. At that time I crawled diagonally forward quite a distance, lying between the 2 sides' fire, just afraid that the PolPol troops would charge forward. Occasionally, I put the RPD gun on the edge of the field and fired 5 rounds at a time. Seeing where there was light and smoke, I shot. In this battle, any comrade who crawled backwards like me would escape. If injured, it would only be minor. While I was lying down to observe, I looked to both sides and did not see any of my comrades. Surely when the enemy fired, my comrades had turned back. Looking forward, I saw a comrade running and screaming. I looked closely, and it was indeed a comrade of mine. While running, he occasionally fell down. I turned back and saw Comrade Nam holding an AK, lying behind him. I called Comrade Nam to lie next to me. I told Comrade Nam that there was a comrade lying in front of him, about 50 meters away. Comrade Nam said that it would be very dangerous to carry him back now. I told Comrade Nam to give me the AK. Comrade Nam brought the RPD to support me. Then I took advantage of the terrain to approach the wounded comrade. I immediately recognized Comrade Thang from the same district as me. I saw that his head was covered in blood, soaking his shirt. His face looked very scary. I pulled Comrade Thang down close to the edge of the rice field. I used my sleeve to wipe his face and saw that he had lost a piece of his head, exposing his skull. I was afraid that if the enemy charged forward, they would capture 2 of us alive. If I left Comrade Thang behind, I was also afraid that the enemy would capture him. I decided to carry Comrade Thang back, took off the ammunition bag on my body, and threw it away. Then I ran back. While running, we stumbled over the edge of the field. Both of us fell down, lying there panting, almost exhausted. I lay there trying to pull closer to Comrade Nam's position. Comrade Nam ran out to pull me along, then lifted me onto his back and ran back to the original position. The 2 of us opened our backpacks to get bandages to bandage Comrade Thang's wound. We put a piece of bandage on the top of his head and wrapped it around. Comrade Thang's head was only white and continued to lie there. After fighting for about 4 hours, we started to help each other and retreat. When we retreated, we saw many comrades sacrificed in all positions. I met the liaison comrade of Company 1. He told me that my company was wiped out. The company commander and deputy company commander were all sacrificed. There were only me and a few other comrades. The bodies of the dead soldiers lying above have not been retrieved yet. My company sacrificed about 10 comrades due to the firepower of the PolPol army. After that, the transport of the regiment and battalion came to bring the dead soldiers back, piled them up in a vacant lot, but the dead soldiers of Company 1 could not be retrieved because they were in the enemy's firing range. I was able to bring Comrade Thang to the battalion's surgery station. Comrade Thang suffered a traumatic brain injury and is still alive now, returning to his hometown to start a family and enjoying the regime of wounded and sick soldiers, but sometimes he cannot control himself. Recently, due to the after effects of the war, Comrade Thang burned down the house he was living in. Very pitiful. When I brought Comrade Thang to the surgery station, I went to look for Comrade Nguyen. During the fight, the group of 3 people only had me and Comrade Nam left. I didn't know where Comrade Nguyen went. When I went up, I saw Comrade Nguyen sitting under the bunker, smoking. I went down and asked, "Where did you run to during the fight?" Comrade Nguyen said I was wounded in the leg. Comrade Nguyen took off his pants for me to see, and I saw that his thigh was hit by shrapnel from a mortar shell. Comrade Nam was wounded in the soft tissue, not affecting the bones. At that time, I was very happy. I told him that Comrade Thang was wounded in the head, had a traumatic brain injury, and didn't know if he would survive. I brought him back to the battalion for surgery. We were still sitting in the bunker. Tomorrow, we will consolidate our forces to fight and move up to retrieve the bodies of wounded and dead soldiers. I will tell you about that battle later. Thank you for listening.